I'm done. I'm not giving an attitude. So like I said, with your California tax thing, you need to understand some very simple things. You need to have them submit a claim before the court. And when they submit it, they are going to submit it under California Code 1234. And you're going to say, you're going to have to put this in plain terminology in which I understand, in which I comprehend, in which I'm competent to give an answer. I'm not competent to answer under California Code 1234. And they can't force you to be competent. They can't, if they move for a competency hearing, that's ridiculous. I said, I already told you I'm competent. And I'll never be competent unless you put me through some sort of law school and I pass the bar. Then maybe in 6 years I'll be proficient legal capacity to give you a competent answer to reply to Code 1234. And I still probably won't be able to do that because I'd have to find the man who wrote the code, and I'd have to ask him, what does that code literally mean as you created it? Because like I say to people all the time, we could all be standing at the Daily Plaza in Chicago looking at a Picasso. Okay, it's got like a big blob in the middle, kind of funny shape, a yellow-looking moon, and a blue thing that looks like the Earth. And you could get a PhD in Picasso, I could get a PhD in Picasso, and we could interpret this Picasso painting and actually make a pretty good living interpreting Picasso paintings and selling them and trading them and buying them. And we're going to think of all these wonderful things what this abstract artist Picasso was saying. So we're all sitting there interpreting and arguing. I always said, Picasso's going to come out from the grave and said, hey, what's going on here? And it's like, oh, Mr. Picasso, we're just admiring a painting. It's like, oh, yeah, that big blue thing, that's the insignificance of Earth, and the big gray thing in the middle is the complexity of the galaxy, and that yellow thing is man's significance in all of creation. Some transcendental meditation nonsense. And Picasso's going to flip the painting upside down, and he's going to say it's a banana. It's an elephant holding a banana standing on a blue ball. That's all it is, people. It's an elephant holding a banana standing on a blue ball. You're putting too much into this. What do you think I created? No. See, so unless you created the code, you can't interpret it. You could try to interpret the code, but it's not your code to interpret. So if somebody's trying to tell you, interpret this code and give me an answer, what do you think this code, how do you think you're going to answer to this code? It's like, I'm not going to waste my time trying to decipher this dribble. You know what? I will provide an answer in common law and the common language. This is what I believe I did right. This is what I believe I did wrong. I believe you have no right to do this to me. Why do I believe you have no right? I believe you have no right to tell me what I can and cannot do with the money in my pocket. I believe this is a nation in which I have the right to administrate my own property in my own manner. And there you go. There's your claim. Now you're waiting for the other side to rebut it. And they're going to say, well, in this nation, we need property taxes. We need some place to provide for medical and police and fire departments. You're like, okay, that's a nice rebuttal. But like I said, when you move them into the common law, that's what trumps everything in this country. Only a man has standing in common law. The county doesn't have standing in common law. So technically, yeah, you could really bang the bottom out of the county because technically there's not going to be a voice. They're not going to be standing in court. Only an attorney is going to be standing in that court for them, and the attorney can't come to court like you can, a common law court, and the common law court is going to require, or you're going to require of everybody defying or bringing a motion or moving the common law court to do it under oath of affirmation with first-hand knowledge that either they've been harmed or they've been accrued a loss due to your acts or your inactions. And that's going to be pretty hard for the county to come forth and say, somebody from the county to say, well, since Bill hasn't paid his taxes, it has raised my tax exactly $17.13. It's going to be really hard for somebody to prove that because your inactions cause them harm. And then, like I also said to you before, that's what I remember saying to you now, just like in England, the common law of England, the Queen owns all the crown, not the Queen. The crown owns all the land. All the edifices, all the buildings upon that land, the people can own, but they can't own the land. So this is what I was saying to you. I remember this now about counties. You could say to the county, I will pay you a tax assessment for 1/4 of an acre. That sounds fair.